Hello, I'm D. Suresh Kumar, and you're watching Tamil Nadu elections with the Hindu. Joining me today is our Deputy National Editor, Mr. Srinivas Ramani, and political correspondent Sai Charan. Welcome to the show. So today we are going to discuss about the central region or the Delta region of Tamil Nadu, one of the most fertile regions in the state. It is also called the rice bowl of Tamil Nadu and also the culture capital of Tamil Nadu in some sense. This is a region where the DMK has done extremely well in 2021. Out of basically the region comprises 9 districts, 41 assembly constituencies, and just 4 of them were won by the AIDMK alliance in 2021, while the rest of the region was a clear sweep for the DMK front. So basically, this region has traditionally favored the DMK and the left because it's also a hotbed for the communist movement. This also happens to be the region where Karunanidhi, the former DMK president and chief minister, was born, and Tiruvarur is the place where he was born. So we are going to see how the voters in this region voted in each constituency of 41 constituencies, who are the key contenders this time, and also how this region voted in the Lok Sabha polls in these assembly segments. So we'll start over. So the very first constituency here is Aravakuruchi, closer to the western region in Tamil Nadu, very close to Coimbatore. And Aravakuruchi is in Karur district. And when you mention Karur, the first person who comes to mind now is Senthil Balaji, right? The former minister and the DMK strongman from this region. Of course, he was, in the AIDMK previously, and then switched over to the AMMK, subsequently to the DMK, and now one of the core persons. This time, of course, Senthil Balaji is not contesting anywhere in this region. He has shifted to Coimbatore, about which we'll talk in the western segment. But Aravakuruchi is a key constituency. Once upon a time, in fact, in 2016, the elections here were deferred because there was large-scale voter bribery by both candidates of the DMK and the AIDMK at that point. So that was a key thing. A brief outlook about the constituency is it's very famous for the moringa and jasmine cultivation. It's also, industrialization of Karur has not yet spread much to the constituency. Apparently, a dry belt with drinking water shortage, and a strategic seat where a mix of Muslim and Hindu Gaunda votes determine the final margin. There is also the seat in 2021 where the BJP former state president Annamalai had contested and lost.
Annamalai was not a state president then. He went on to become the state president.
Yes, you're right. He was vice president at the point.
Yes.
There was a significant margin also. The DMK-led alliance or DMK won by more than 14 percentage points. And it will more or less maintain that difference in the Lok Sabha in the assembly segment as well. And as you rightly pointed out, this is the westernmost constituency in this region, right?
So, Sai, who are the key players this time?
Again, R. Ilango is the incumbent MLA who defeated Annamalai. So he is contesting. And AIDMK, we have Selva Kumar, TVK Karthikeyan, and NTK, it is Naren. So in 2011 and 2016 elections, Mr. Senthil Balaji, who was then with AIDMK, he won the seat. In 2019, then again there was a by-election, and Senthil Balaji won this segment as a DMK candidate.
Yes, I think he was the only candidate from the AIDMK who was disqualified for siding with the AMMK to be re-elected in that by-election.
So is he still in charge of this constituency?
He is in charge, but his main base is now in Coimbatore for this elections. But otherwise, Karur remains under his control. He is still the district secretary of Karur. Then we come to Karur constituency, a key industrial hub where you have quite a few textile industries, bus body building, and very importantly, mosquito net manufacturing units. That's the uniqueness of the area. And then, of course, there are a lot of civic issues. One of the major constraints is they need modern common effluent treatment plant to check pollution of Amravati river by effluent discharge from the dyeing unit. So that is very keen point. And of course, it's a core, very intensely fought seat between the DMK and the AIDMK over the years.
What is not mentioned is this the place where the stampede happened last year?
Exactly. Yes, something about the stampede.
41, when actor Vijay went there on September 27th, there was a huge stampede and nearly 41 people died. It's a very tragic incident, and the crowd was waiting to see Vijay for several hours, and there was a huge commotion and crowd crush. So
Yes.
it's a very sad.
I think that is the most tragic event that ever happened in Karur over
Yeah.
the past many decades.
Will it matter in this election? Is it an election issue in Karur?
See, the point is that after the stampede, people did not blame Vijay, right? Although he also contributed. I'm not saying that he is the main factor, but then he also contributed in some measure to the stampede because he went about 7 hours late from the scheduled time. It did lead to an increase in the crowd that gathered, and then eventually led to progressive crowd crash. So that did happen, but then immediately after the incident, people did not blame him. They actually ended up blaming the government and the police, saying adequate security was not provided. But a CBI probe is on, as well as a SIT probe is also on, monitored by the Supreme Court. So we'll have to wait for the outcome to decide what it is.
If you look at the candidates, Madhya Egan was
Accused of
one of the accused.
one of the we are district secretary of the TVK.
District Secretary
He's
who
one
was
of the
arrested.
accused in
But more than Madhya Egan, the key person here is MR
MR
Vijay
Vijay Bhaskar. Yeah.
former transport minister, right?
Yeah,
Is he a
former transport
former
minister.
transport minister, MR Vijay Bhaskar. So he is contesting here again. So this is his core area. Last time he was defeated in this seat by Senthil Balaji.
Yeah, now he moved. Now it is Tyagaraja.
I have a question for you, Sai.
Yeah.
DSK pointed out that the impression about the stampede was to assign blame to some extent to the government and to some extent to Vijay. But there is also the perception factor that Mr. Vijay, after the stampede, did not visit the place.
Yeah.
He actually technically went away from that area.
Yeah.
And for 2 months, he was closeted in his residence, right? In fact, the victims
were asked to come to
come to
Mahabalipuram and
is that did that create a perception about how this was handled?
I don't think so, because there was no such negative perception per se among the people who were affected. But in a larger sense, that was not the, like, people will not console in such a manner. You will be in their doorsteps to mourn the death, and there was a larger debate when they were asked to come to private resort in Mahabalipuram and.
See, because every other political party leader, starting from Chief Minister M.K. Stalin to leader of opposition Edappadi Palaniswamy, MR Vijay Bhaskar was in the hospital before Senthil Balaji went, right? So they were all there with the people in their hour of grief, in their moment of grief. But then Vijay's approach to it was entirely, indefensible, I would say, right? Something we have not heard of. It's a new culture where you invite the grieving people and then offer them condolences.
So we might even know the reaction to that in the ballot box. Yeah.
I doubt that, because I find that Vijay's image trap is far more greater than the theories that we generally expect in political.
Before we get into that, DSK, you used the word image trap. It's a academic term used by MSS Pandian.
Yes.
So can you explain that?
Yeah, the image trap works like this. If you, in fact, in image trap itself, MSS Pandian writes of an incident about a police firing in a particular village, and then eventually a reporter of a Tamil magazine landed there, asking around with people as to what had happened.
This is in the 80s and 70s.
In the 1980s, during the MGR government, right? During the MGR government, when MGR had a big image, right? So this reporter had gone to find out the ground report, what happened. And then he overheard women who were there saying that MGR must have sent him because, he wanted to inquire about her well-being. So that is the kind of image trap that MGR had built around himself. In fact, during MGR's rule, if you notice, there were quite a few police firings on the very people like fishermen, farmers, whom he would otherwise support in movies, and these are the people who supported him politically as well. So that is the image trap. So this image trap is also because the subaltern voters or people, want to have an emotional connect with some leader, and that leader they found to be Vijay now. So they have been attracted by his screen charisma. They are, progressing towards him. Also, this image trap is in some ways, contributed by the trust deficit in the existing political parties. Their failure to address the proper needs of the people. So that also contributes to this image where you need a messiah, right, to save you from your problems. But the problem is that once the messiah comes into power, you realize that there's a huge gap between what you expect, what has been promised, and what is being delivered actually.
Yeah, on that note, let's move on to okay, we can also mention that this is, as you rightly pointed out, Karur has seen intense electoral battles. That was evident in 2021 also. Barely 6 percentage points was the difference between the DMK and the ADMK then. And in the Lok Sabha, if you add up the BJP and the ADMK's vote shares, that comes to close to 43%, and it has narrowed the gap if you add up these two. And NTK had made an advance, almost 4
Yeah.
percentage
Almost
points.
doubled.
Yeah,
almost
doubled.
doubled.
Yeah. So clearly a hot
Contest is-
can be expected in this constituency. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah.
Krishnarayapuram is a reserved constituency. You have a mix of industrial labor, then the scheduled caste agrarian communities, and of course, it's situated on the banks of the Cauvery. Right? There's been a demand for a government engineering college here by the locals. So that is the profile of the constituency. This time, reports indicate that the TVK candidate is also doing well there.
in this. Yeah.
But I think outside of Chennai, if there's one constituency where we have got some positive feedback about a candidate doing better, it is in Krishnarayapur.
And in this place, we call the Cauvery, which flows through Krishnarayapuram. Generally, it is referred as Aganda Cauvery, where the Cauvery is the width of Cauvery is so high.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the where the Cauvery flows.
Yeah,
right?
that is the Cauvery.
Yeah. So one thing, DSK and Sai, both of you, we have always noted is that parties like the VCK, they have the representatives or their intellectuals within the party have said informally that every time a cine star or an actor comes into the fray, that gives them a tough moment, because their core voter base among the subaltern, they tend to express support for these messiahs, and it complicates the task for them. So that's why you are saying that here the TVK is supposed to do well, right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And also, any party that is, consolidating on the basis of caste will have this problem. Right, where they are not largely, broader ideology is not there, and then you come around in the name of caste, because this problem
Or
is
anti-caste also.
or anti-caste also, and then where, for instance, the PMK, they strongly opposed the entry of actor Vijaykanth in politics, because the biggest fear was that supporters were gravitating towards him. The 1 year. That's the same case with Rajnikant. They were upset, and then now even in respect of Vijay, there is an expectation that one percentage of the 1 years would have migrated there. Even Jayalalitha was, who herself was a film star turned politician, was wary of Vijayakant's initial popularity, right? So much so that she started attacking him because he presented himself as a black MGR. So it's always that, these communities, the lower state of the society, they tend to gravitate towards somebody, like I mentioned, with whom they have an emotional connect, and then they find them to be the messiah.
There's also, interestingly, if you look at the last point here, there is a demand for a government engineering college, a technical institute. Clearly, there is some upward mobility that has happened, and people's aspirations have also become higher.
Per se, in Karur district, the major problem is the sand mining. Illegal sand mining is huge, because you have a lot of sand quarries there, and even the enforcement directorate has been conducting probes there.
Right.
Yeah, we have DMK CK Raja. Now this constituency is represented by Sivagama Sundari of the DMK. So interestingly, Krishnarayapuram had in the past elected few women candidates, 2-3 women candidates represented Krishnarayapuram. You have Dr. Divya. I am hearing good reviews about. She's also a tough contender, and we have S Madan and Satya of the NTK. As you can see clearly, there is the last election, there is a clear majority for the DMK.
And in the Lok Sabha election also, if you look at the assembly segment, the DMK of course had a similar, I mean, its vote share dropped somewhat slightly. NTK's vote share went up, and the ADMK BJP, if you add up the vote shares together, roughly the same as the assembly elections.
Yeah, Manaparai is also famous for murukku, one of the popular snacks. So in fact, when you travel by train, these often sell this Manaparai murukku. It also has one of the South India's largest weekly cattle shanty.
Yeah, Manapara Madukatti, Mayavara Airpoti.
Yes, that's right. It's one of popular film songs. Right. It's also a dry belt, and then it's also prone to perennial flooding, especially in the town area. Right. So that is the basic thing about the constituency. But otherwise, DMK has it. If you look at the last assembly and the Lok Sabha, they have performed reasonably well here.
Manapara is basically located on the national highway, either sides of from Trichy to Madurai you go, on the either side of the road. And last time it was Abdul Samad of Manidanai Makkal Katchi who contested in DMK symbol. He won the election. Again, this constituency has been again allotted to MMK, who's again contesting in Rising Sun symbol. This constituency historically elected both the DMK and ADMK alternatively. So there is a tough fight here. I would rate it as a tough fight here.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a tough fight.
So again, all these areas are largely agrarian.
Yeah,
Yes,
Manapara is
agrarian, slightly partially industrial also, especially Karur has some industries. But as you move towards the rural areas, then the development is, it's not that wide.
Previous discussion where we focused on the Kanchipuram and Chennai and those areas, it's largely urban areas.
Yes.
But now we are going into the heart of agrarian.
These are agrarian.
Manapari, we have a SIPCOT also, and I don't think much of the industrial development has come. It falls under Trichy district actually.
Right. And our economic survey also points out that while industrial growth has burgeoned dramatically in Tamil Nadu, services have also grown. But agrarian, the agrarian economy still is somewhat stagnant relative to the.
Right. Although they have got bumper crops,
right,
but still in terms of economic growth, it's not much.
Right. So okay. So here the issues are slightly different from the rest of Tamil Nadu in that sense. Yeah.
Then you have Virali Malai.
Very famous.
Virali Malai is very popular, but this is not in Karur district per se, but although it comes under, it's in Pudukkottai district, but then it comes under the Karur parliamentary constituency. There's a Subramania Swami temple here, right? Otherwise, they are expected on the people here for the agriculture purpose. They, very keen on the Cauvery Gundar interlinking project, one of the favorite projects of Edappadi Palaniswamy, the ADMK leader, and of course strategically located on the Trichy-Madurai National Highway. So
and this is one seat last time elected ADMK MLA Vijay Bhaskar.
ADMK MLA Vijay Bhaskar, who's it's basically stranglehold, right? The former health minister. So in fact, last time I remember he campaigned. He brought his children also for the campaign. He almost pleaded with the electorate that he should not be rejected at any cost, and then they must elect him. And that emotional appeal actually helped him.
He was a minister.
And even now I think this is one constituency that will be tough for Chellapandian.
Yeah, even in Chellapandian is also a known face, but still it will be tough because Vijay Bhaskar has won here from 2-3 times. I think
he is actually a grounded MLA. I mean, forget about the other thing of him being a minister and then the charges that he faced, income tax raid. I think directly in his house, soon after Jayalalitha's death. But very rooted. If you remember, there was an incident of a child falling into a borewell.
Yes.
Right. He was there throughout, although it was a festive occasion. He did not move anywhere for about 2 days. Fully, he was there in the village with the people. So that sort of grounded rooting is that's correct.
It reflected in the 2021 elections also. It's a comfortable victory by almost 13 percentage points in an area dominated by the DMK front. The rest of the area in the region, the ADMK won by 13 percentage points. Of course, in the assembly segment, because of the split in the ADMK-BJP alliance, the DMK benefited out of it. But if you add up the ADMK-BJP vote shares, it surpasses the DMK's vote share. Interestingly, the NTK has almost tripled this vote share.
Because if you see, the DMK plus here represents the Congress candidate. Jyotimani is the MP from here, and when Jyotimani was on the ground, there were a lot of resentment in some pockets where she was already she was representing Karur. Again, when she was going around in 2024, there were in some pockets there.
So that anti-incumbency benefited the NTK to some extent. Anything to talk about the candidates fielded by TVK and NTK?
Usually they are also in the contest, but again, particularly this constituency, you have a tough fight between DMK and ADMK. With Vijay Bhaskar as Sir has pointed, it's a well-known face.
So he is somewhat of a favorite.
Yes, he is the favorite. There's no doubt. Srirangam, a temple town, right? A very famous temple town where you have the Srirangam temple. And this was one constituency that Jayalalitha had represented also.
2011.
Right, 2011 she represented it, and then after she was unseated, she moved to RK Nagar in the by-election, and thereafter the seat has been represented by her party person last time. So that's the thing, basically. It's very close in the proper Trichy parliamentary constituency. It falls within that.
Yeah, and then there is a Jambugeshwara temple in Thiruvannaikoil that also falls under Srirangam. If you see the map, usually people think that Srirangam is one riverine island and it is confined to that. No, it's not the case. As far as this assembly segment is concerned, it's huge actually, Srirangam. And especially with respect to Srirangam, recently there was a controversy over the Srirangam MLA Palani Andi, and the stone quarries that he was associated to. There were some problems. going on. And Srirangam is since it is a temple town, there are a lot of potential for tourism. There is Yatri Nivas, and the people are demanding,
Yeah, one of the
such
more
tourism.
architecturally very
It is
splendid
one of the
temples,
largest temples.
Largest
You
temples.
can see the Gopuram from very far. Yeah. So that is an issue. People are demanding better tourist facilities there, and And who are the candidates, Sai?
Candidates again this time it is S. Durai Raj. Palaniandi has not been given ticket. R. Manoharan is a veteran ADMK. He had contested several elections from different constituencies. And S. Ramesh, who's a spokesperson of the TVK, he is there.
He has been one of the earliest spokespersons for Vijay.
Okay.
Even before the launch of TVK.
Okay.
Right, and he worked in an IT company.
Quite a very young fellow.
Quite a very young chap, and he is one of the two Brahmin candidates that the TVK has fielded in this election, and from Sri Lanka, where you have a concentration of the Brahmins also.
I have a question to both of you. This constituency is not too far away from where Vijay is contesting.
Yeah.
So the Vijay factor will impinge upon the variables here.
You will have spillovers. Yeah. You cannot rule that out. There will be spillovers.
And this is also an area that comes under K.N. Nehru's ambit.
But
Trichy per se is Minister K.N. Nehru's district. Right. So he's a all-powerful person there. Yeah. In fact, last time he was very confident. He said we will get 100% victory. He proved that also in Trichy district. 9 out of 9. Right. This time he hasn't made that statement. So let us wait and see why he hasn't done that. Right.
So that obviously indicates that the TVK factor is complicating things.
Yes, particularly since Mr. Vijay is contesting there, it is likely to have a spillover effects. But if you see, when we talk about Trichy East, we'll see in the map that the Trichy East is located on either side of the constituencies which is now represented by Minister Trichy West and Thiruvarambur.
Right.
So again, the spillover effect may not be as great as what you can see it in even here in Chennai. The Perambur is the next constituency to Kolattur. So it is there will be both sides there will be effect.
So you have one strong candidate in the adjoining constituency who can have his own spillover effect, while you have Vijay's Takam, as they say in Tamil, so or his impact. So one important thing here is it was a comfortable victory in both these. The vote shares are more or less the same. Again, NTK made an impact here. But the introduction of the TVK, we know what is called the index of opposition unity. If the introduction of the TVK is splitting the anti-incumbency vote, it will benefit the DMK. Yes, on the other hand, if Vijay gets traditional DMK and left voters or the subaltern voters to his side, then it might make the contest tough.
But here, Ramesh also is a familiar candidate because he has been appearing on a lot of TV shows defending the party. So it's quite, he starts with a familiarity. So he's not a newcomer or unknown face there.
Even after when Jayalalitha moved to RK Nagar, S. Valarmadi of AIDMK contested one way, and then even in last election, AIDMK fielded a known face. It was a former Agri Minister Kupa Krishnan who contested from.
One last question: the NTK is one party that is focusing a lot on agrarian economy. Is it making an impact in this area because of reiterating its positions on this issue?
I think across rural areas that impact will be there. But and then last time he was seen as the alternative candidate to the two big friends. This time he is one of the alternatives. So we'll have to see how that impacts.
NTK, on the other hand, you still believe has a core support base that is quite ideological. Core
just support. Like Vijay draws crowds organically, Seaman also draws supporters organically. Only thing is, it's not on the scale of what you get to see with Vijay, because Vijay is also a film star. But Seaman's meetings are attended by people who believe in what he says or who have thronged there to listen to him.
So it's ideologically driven charisma and charisma here.
And so one of the key factors that NTK has openly said, which no other party has said so far, is they have declared that we will not pay any money to voters. So that has been their USP. They said we will not pay. Right. So whatever vote comes to us is coming organically.
Yes, Trichy West is a very important constituency.
Very important constituency in the heart of Trichy city. But still, of course, you have the urban issues that every city has, canals, irrigation, right, those issues, underground drainage schemes. So that has been there. But to know why this area is important, you look at the kind of difference they have made last time. See, 64.5%, and then the percentage has been 18% because of the
biggest winning margin.
No, not this one. It was in Dindigul, but this one has a huge margin, right? The margin is 64.5 and 18%. And here also you look at it, they maintain that same streak in the right? Almost they maintain the same thing. That is because you will know when you move the next slide. because of Mr. K. Nehru, one of the most resourceful ministers you have. You know, when I say resourceful, you know the kind of reach that he's going to have, right? Very resourceful, been in the DMK for many years. From 1989 onwards, he is one of the core persons.
Whenever DMK forms government, we have only few. Durai Murugan, K. Nehru, and Ponmudi were continuing since.
And these are all people who grew up with Stalin in the organization.
Yeah.
Grew up with Stalin, grew up in the days of Karunanidhi.
Right.
If you go to Tirchi, you will find an Anna Arivalayam.
Right.
You know, similar to the DMK
Kalaignar
headquarters, Anna
Kalaignar
Arivalayam.
Arivalayam.
Yeah, Kalaignar Arivalayam. So that's almost like a mini replica kind of a thing like Anna Arivalayam.
Is that the reason why an AMK candidate is contesting election? Because the talk is that the ADMK made the contest in such a way that the AMK...
It is AMMK's the traditional, and even in this 2024 election, as a part of NDA, AMMK only contested.
Okay, understood. Okay.
So AMMK has a base, this region, especially in this region, in the Delta region, the AMMK has a base because of the Mukkulathur concentration to which TTV Dinakaran belongs. Right. So that is also one of the reasons why they are there. But then K. Nehru is the key person. Right, so we'll have to see this time how he performs not only in this constituency but how the DMK performs overall. So we'll rest with him.
We didn't go to North Tamil Nadu as yet, but we saw that the southern parts of the KTCC region had started to show a greater concentration of the Vandian community votes. Similarly, the southern part of the Delta region will start to show a greater concentration of the Mukkulathur votes.
Yeah, basically the Cauvery River is the transition zone between Vandians and
Mukkulathur. So if you see that from this point onwards, you'll notice that.
But you will also see concentration of the Vandians in certain areas.
Certain areas in south of Cauvery as well.
Yes, you will see that.
Right.
All right, now we are looking at the Tiruchirappalli East constituency. This time it's a star constituency because actor TVK founder Vijay is contesting here. This is the second constituency. He has also filed his papers in Perambur in Chennai, as we saw. So basically this region, if you notice, Tiruchi has a lot of Christian missionary institutions, schools, minority population, right? A cosmopolitan constituency with significant minority population is there. Then of course you have the urban issues that normally there, right? So Vijay has chosen this also because of this factor, minority factor, right? The other point is overall when you speak about Tiruchi, if you notice, this is the only area that is in the center of all the regions, right? Because one complaint is about Chennai being the capital is that people down south, it takes them overnight journey to reach here, right? So Tiruchi, whereas if you consider Tiruchi as the center, then whether you are in Chennai or in Coimbatore or in deep down south, you can reach Tiruchi in about 5 hours, right? 5 hours if the roads are good, or if you take a flight or far less than that. So at one point of time, MGR actually wanted to have Tiruchi as an administrative capital. Right, so this time also there was some expectation because initially they thought that DMK might announce something in its manifesto about Tiruchi being a second capital city or something. Right. No such announcement has come from anywhere. Right. But that could also be one of the reasons why Vijay has chosen Tiruchi because it's central, and then they will decide post-elections. When we speak about minority population, we'll come to the winning candidate in the last time that will justify the minority population's presence. Dr. Inigo Irudaraj, he actually has a Christian outfit, right? But then Nallanna Iyakkam, and then he is contesting on the DMK symbol. This time his task was very difficult because of Mr. Joseph Vijay, right? So that's the point, right? And of course, the difference last time, thanks to K. Nehru's influence, it was huge.
And ADMK former minister Vellamandi and Natarajan contested and he lost. He even recently rejoined the party. He was briefly in OPS camp, I think, and then again he joined. But he was not given ticket. But he is again back in the ADMK.
So we have to therefore disregard what happened in the recent elections simply because of the Vijay factor here.
Yeah, exactly. Then we come to Thiruvarambur. Basically an industrial belt in Tiruchi. You have the bell, that is the most important thing, giving employment to lots of people here. And then there are several MSCB units here, which are also ancillary supplies to the big ancillary supplies to bell.
Border.
Yes, but then they are struggling to come out of the recession, higher unemployment issues. Then of course congestion is understandable because it's a...
You have a NIT also here.
NIT is the National Institute of Technology. Tiruchi is located within this constituency.
And then in this Ariyamangalam, we have a huge dump yard. And Palpane is the place where, the milk booth once was located. Tuvakudi, you have a boiler plant.
So this is the industrial hub of the Delta region.
Yeah,
Yes, we can see.
Tiruvambur.
So, yes.
Largely dominated because of the public sector unit, that is BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited, and its surrounding ancillary units that are set up there.
Also, Tiruvambur, interestingly, if you swipe, will come to know that it is represented by a school education minister,
Right.
Bill Mahesh Poyamoli.
Right.
And P. Kumar is, he's the former MP. 2009 also he won, 2014 also he won from Trichy. Navalpatta Vijay, he was in DMK. He was a Tiruvambur Ondriya Chelalar, union, basically union functionary there, and was of a DMK, and he moved to TVK. And Rajesh, again, he's also known face in NTK in the Trichy.
And Anbil Mahesh Poyamoli was the education minister.
Yeah.
He is the education minister. The other important thing about Anbil Mahesh is he and the Karunanidhi family share a very close parentage. It's three generations of politicians from the same family in both Karunanidhi and Poyamoli's family. So, Mr. Karunanidhi was very close to his grandfather, Anbil Dharmalingam. And Mr. Stalin was very close to Anbil's father.
Anbil
Right?
Poyamoli.
Yeah, he was very close to him. And now Mr. Anbil Mahesh Poyamoli is close to Udayanidhi Stalin, the deputy chief minister.
Even his uncle was briefly in politics, Anbil Periyasamy. When Anbil Poyamoli died in 1999, Anbil Periyasamy was elected.
Yes.
So he's seen as a young Turk in the.
He is young, very articulate, very decent guy in politics. So that is it.
Right. And last time he had won for a very comfortable margin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even last time P. Kumar was the contestant.
Gandharva Kotai, again a reserved constituency. So it's basically a village economy driven by agriculture, horticulture, and then they are also again depending on the Cauvery Gundar interlinking project to end the drought season there. So, but last time it was different. This time we need to see how it is.
This time it's CPM candidate.
Even last time it was Chinnadurai, CPM's Chinnadurai only. Again, this time in ADM it has been given to BJP. Where there are a lot of ground reports that there will be a tough contest. If I am not wrong, sir, I think Vengai Vayal falls under this assembly segment. If I am not wrong.
Yes, I think so. I'm not too very sure, but I think yes. And then one constituency, where the BJP is clashing directly with the CPI. So a direct clash of ideologies between
Right and left.
two right and left
Yeah.
can be seen here.
Also, Delta used to be at one point of time the hub of communist activism.
Exactly.
For,
Yes, it was there. That is where you have the Kilvenmani massacre that took
Yeah.
place more than 50 years ago.
more on
Yes. So on the other eastern side. So therefore, it's been. In fact, one of the famous sayings of Karunanidhi would be that if I had not joined the Dravidian movement, I would have been a communist.
Yeah.
So the communism thrived there quite in the early days.
the days of Srinivas Rao and
Yes.
others who
Yeah.
worked on
That time, yes.
building a movement for agricultural laborers and so on. So Mr. Chinnadurai belongs to that legacy.
Yeah.
And he's also sitting MLA.
Sitting
Sitting
MLA, yes.
Right. And in the Lok
I
Sabha
think he was the
Assembly-
only sitting MLA who has been given ticket again
Right.
in CPM.
Yeah, in
Right,
the
right,
CPM.
right. In the Lok Sabha
Again, it is
election-
Trichy Lok Sabha
yeah,
constituency,
Trichy
so Durai
Lok Sabha
Vaiko was a candidate.
candidate, and there the DMK-led alliance did a slightly better
Better here,
performance.
yeah.
But again, this could be a close election here
Yeah.
because the assembly election was not as clear cut as the
Yeah.
Lok Sabha election. Yeah.
Right, we go to Pudukkottai, right, that's a separate district. It was once a princely state, basically. So you had the Pudukkottai Rajas
Yeah.
at one
Tondai
point of
Mans,
time.
basically.
Yeah. So, of course, the issues remain mostly urban, and then, it's industrially backward. So that's the core issue. But then Pudukkottai is also, where the Congress had some presence earlier.
Yeah.
Right, because of Su Tirunavakar sir. Right, of course, he is a ADMK man who subsequently switched over to multiple parties and finally is with the Congress.
Arandangi
Arantangi strongman. Yes,
yeah.
of course, we'll be coming to his constituency very soon.
Yeah.
So that's the Pudukkottai region.
Yeah. Let's look at the candidates.
Yeah, DMK has given again to Y. Muthuraja, who's a sitting MLA, and N. Ramachandran of ADMK, TVK KM Sharif, and NTK Saidlarasi. Yeah, BJP. Yeah, I'm sorry. And earlier also, DMK and ADMK, alternatively represented. We had Periyan and Arasu, who was DMK's. And then if you see the last election, the ADMK candidate Karthik Tondaiman, he was in ADMK. Then now he switched to DMK.
Oh, is that so? Okay.
So Kulithalai
Is in Karur
is
district.
Karur, it's basically in Karur district.
But-
Right, this is also the constituency where Karunanidhi won his
First
first elections.
1957.
1957. This is where he won his first elections, Kulithalai. and therefore it is very famous even now. It's right on the banks of the river Cauvery, clearly an agrarian belt with large cultivation of paddy, banana, sugarcane, and betel wine. And there's also floriculture in that constituency.
Yeah, this basically this Kulithalai to Thurayur belt, we have a lot of banana cultivation.
Right. And who are the candidates, Sai?
Kulithalai usually represented, Kulithalai Manikam is a very famous MLA. Now this time he was not given ticket. Suryanuriya Chandran of DMK and ADMK S. Karunakaran, G. Balasubramanian, Nanmaran, they are contesting. Earlier also, Manikam had won twice or thrice from there.
Again, this was a relatively easier constituency for the DMK last time, and even more so during the Lok Sabha election.
Because, K.N. Nehru's son Arun Nehru was the candidate in Perambalur parliament segment, and in all the assembly segments, he took a huge lead. Yeah, significant. Because, if I'm not wrong, in NDA it is T.R. Parivendar of the IJK.
Okay, which is relatively not such a heavyweight in the
Lalgudi.
Lalgudi, this time it's in the news for a different reason. The Tamil Nadu's richest candidate is contesting here, Lima Rose, wife of lottery king, right, lottery baron Martin. So interestingly, Lima Rose joined the ADMK only now, very recently. Her, son-in-law
is in the TVK.
is in the TVK, Adav Arjuna. Then her son is in Puducherry,
Jose
where he
Charles
heads his own
Martin.
party. Yeah, Jose Martin. So this is one family with
Different party
political attachment in different wings.
And according to the electoral bonds data, Santiago Martin was the highest donor for the DMK.
Yes.
And TMC in Bengal as
Yes,
well.
yes,
So
yes.
this is a family that does investments in different political parties of different kinds of investment,
Exactly.
political investment and financial investment as well.
So Lima Rose has been campaigning hard there. She's been going from village to village, street to street, right? But the other key contestant here is also Kupa Krishnan, a former ADMK minister. Right, so he has moved parties again. He was also briefly with the DMDK, if I'm right, with Vijayakant for a short while.
And then he floated a party.
He floated a party at
Tamilar
one
Bhumi.
point of time, yeah. And now he is joined the TVK and he is contesting. And on behalf of DMK, you have Parival.
Parivalal, but in DMK, if you see from 2000, if I remember from 2001, Soundra Pandian of the DMK had won 4 times consecutive, but he was not given ticket. Lalgudi was once represented by K.N. Nehru because both K.N. Nehru's hometown, Kanakiliyanallur, and Mahesh Poyamuri's hometown, Anbil, falls under this assembly section.
Right. This is in the northern side of the
North of Cauvery, Kollidam's north, basically.
Right.
So you have some Telugu speaking population in this region actually.
Yeah.
I mean, originally they were Telugus, but settled here
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah.
Including Mr. K.N. Nehru.
Yeah.
Right.
Manachannallur, again, it's the local demand is for a rice industrial park here. And then Samaipuram Mariamman temple is in this constituency, right? Usually people associate Samaipuram closer to Tiruchi, right? So that's not many know it actually comes out of the neighboring constituency. But then it's a very famous temple that attracts devotees, all around the town. And then, if I'm right, this MLA is the sitting MLA was the one who was involved in the controversy over his hospital, where they performed kidney transplant.
Yes,
ran into
Kadiravan.
trouble. Yes. So that is the thing. So the opposition is going, all out to say that here is a candidate whose hospital was involved in kidney theft. Right. But the way the DMK candidate addresses this is different. He says that is not theft. Basically people give us the documents, and if the documents are right, they might have got the forged documents. Right. But our job is just to, perform the operation. We are not stealing the kidneys. So, but the core theme of the campaign there is about the illegal organ transplant performed in the hospital where he has stakes.
Yeah, he's Kadiravan, and his father runs a famous educational institution in Perambalur.
It has branches in other places also. Yeah. But this is an interesting candidate.
Yeah, R.V. Bharathan, who runs an outfit called Singatamilar Munnetra Kazhagam, and he very recently, because many people don't know who
we were not aware of the organization called Singatamilan Peravai, so we had to search. Right. Who is this candidate who has joined the ADMK alliance and then been
he got one ticket. Yeah. It's a surprise. Even I don't think so. He was part of the negotiating channel.
Is that a caste outfit?
Yeah.
It is a caste outfit.
Representing which community?
We know very little about it.
Yeah, okay. That's the problem.
Right. So Perambalur also happens to be, according to the economic survey, one of the poorer districts of.
It is one of the
Tamil
backward
Nadu.
districts.
So-
Perambalur is one of the backward districts in
Right.
Tamil Nadu.
So even though this falls under Perambalur parliamentary segment, Manachanallur comes under Trichy district.
district, okay.
Perambalur has only 2 assembly
Yeah.
segments.
Right. Right.
But as far as Perambalur is concerned, it is a backward region, right? It was once upon a time the parliamentary constituency was represented by A. Raja when it was a reserved seat,
Yeah.
the former telecom minister, right, who has since moved to Nilgiris, right? So that is the backwardness. But then the government has consciously tried to develop industries there in Perambalur region, and also they tried to improve the living conditions.
Let's move on to Mussoorie.
Yes, Mussoorie, a major banana and betel leaf cultivation center. But then again, the major problem in this region is illegal sand mining. But this has been continuing not just during the DMK regime. It started much earlier. But I think the intensity has gone, and then there's really no will by the government to check it, which is very concerning because most of the sand doesn't even go in Tamil Nadu. It goes to other neighboring states.
So if you travel from Trichy to Salem via Namakkal, you have to go through these areas, basically areas that falls under this assembly segment, Mussoorie. Again, the banana cultivation is huge here.
Largely a rural.
Rural agrarian pocket, yeah.
And who are the candidates?
NS Karunai Raja is a new candidate because now it is represented by Tyagarajan, who is the West District Secretary of the Trichy in DMK. And the ADMK, it is N. Yoganathan, I think, again a new candidate because Mussoorie used to be NR Sivapati's stronghold. And TVK we have M. Vignesh and NTK we have Bhakya Lakshmi.
If you look at the recent election record, the DMK had a comfortable win in 2021, and that persisted in the Lok Sabha elections as well.
Thorayur reserved constituency,
Right.
right? So basically, it's known for its scenic beauty.
Yeah, Eastern
Right.
Ghats.
Parts of Pachamalai in Trichy district remains an underdeveloped tourism destination, which means it has a lot of potential for tourism.
Right.
Right, because that region, if you notice, if you go to Trichy, Srirangam, usually people do a temple tour there.
Right,
They do a
right.
temple tourism.
Right.
But I think there is scope for ecological
Ecotourism.
tourism as well.
As well,
Okay. And this also happens to have a sizable population of tribal.
Yeah, because it's a hilly area. Part of Pachamalai is a part of Eastern Ghats, basically.
Right. And who are the candidates, Sai?
2016 it was Stalin Kumar, 21 also it was Stalin Kumar, both time it was DMK. But again this time they gave it to Congress. Vichulenan Prasad, I think he's a state level office bearer of Congress and he's contesting. And ADMK is E. Saroja, TVK is Ravi Shankar and NTK is Kausalya Suresh. And I think there is a comfortable lead in the last election.
As well.
Yeah,
And even more,
because
yeah,
Perambalur,
pronounced in the assembly segment in the Lok Sabha election as well.
Yeah.
Perambalur falls within the same parliamentary constituency, reserved seat, right? So one of the key demands of the local population is a cold storage facility and a new railway link.
Yeah, Perambalur is one of the district where you cannot find, railway lines and but small onion, we call it as a sambar vengayam. That's why onion production is huge there in Perambalur district.
And who are the key candidates, Sai?
So Perambalur this time again a new candidate. Last time, if I'm not wrong, Prabhakaran was the MLA from DMK. SD Jayalakshmi and R. Tamil Selvan, K. Sivakumar. I think they are very new faces.
New face, Jhansi Rani.
Jhansi Rani, yeah.
What I'm noticing is that north of the Cauvery, the constituencies have even more stronger DMK leads compared to the city and the.
Yeah, it's also because of the presence of the left.
Right.
Yeah. Kunnam, it's falls under the Chidambaram parliamentary constituency, right? Which is Chidambaram is technically North Tamil Nadu, but the parliamentary constituency is wide.
But Perambalur district, but Chidambaram.
Yeah, but here it is DMK stronghold, although the margin is narrow here. Right. When we move to the candidate thing, because you have S.S. Shivashankar, the minister, right? So he has been winning here.
Father was also from
Yes.
Shivashankar's father. He had also a good influence there. And this time ADMK has given to IJK again.
It's interesting because even though he's a senior leader, he had a narrow victory in 2021.
Because he switched to the neighboring, last time I think to neighboring Arilo district and again came back here.
And but if you look at the assembly segment trends in the 2024 elections, the ADMK stands a chance because they won 49% to the DMK's 41%.
Yes.
So, but I'm surprised that they have given the ticket to an IJK candidate.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Saranyan.
So the alliance has to actually pull the weight for the candidate here.
Arilur is one of the most backward regions in Tamil Nadu, right? So of course it is the cement capital of Tamil Nadu. They have quite a few plants and all those things. But when you speak about Arilur, you're also reminded of Anita, right? She was a young medical aspirant. So in 2017, she died when the NEET mandate kicked in. Her plus 2 scores were fabulous, but because of the NEET mandate, she could not write the exam. And then she became, her death became a central issue to build an anti-NEET movement. Of course, this time, one thing the DMK did, in 2021 election was they promised that NEET will be abolished. Of course, the ADMK also tried to do the same, but then it's a central law, right? So the state cannot decide on its own. But the problem here was that the DMK actually told people that the ADMK does not know how to handle the issue. We know the secret of abolishing NEET, and we will do it. 5 years have gone. They tried. I'm not saying they didn't try. They tried. They passed a bill which was returned by the governor. They historically reenacted it for the first time in Tamil Nadu, and then it went to the president. President has denied assent. This time, the DMK manifesto does not speak about it. Right. So basically, the DMK knew that they cannot abolish it on their own, but they gave a promise, knowing pretty well it will not be fulfilled on their own, and also because the center and the state don't get along well. So that remains a pipe dream now. NEET abolition is gone. Now you are actually trying to give coaching for NEET, and also like the ADMK previously brought in a law where 7.5% seats in medical colleges are reserved for government school students. That law now continues under the DMK regime. It's also been extended to engineering college admissions right now.
Other issues in this area, DSK?
Cement industry, there are a lot of cement industries here, and the industrial pollution is a major problem.
And this also, you said, falls under
Chidambaram Parliamentary Constituency, represented by VCK Chief Thirumavada.
Here too, the Lok Sabha Assembly, in the Lok Sabha elections, the ADMK did surprisingly well.
Yeah, in this segment. It is an ADMK stronghold. I think Thamare Rajendran, or I think he's contesting this. Yeah, Thamare Rajendran of ADMK is contesting again. Last election in 2021, MDMK's Chinnappa won from here. So now it is again DMK. Yeah.
Or is it MDMK contesting in the DMK symbol? Or
No.
This is Lata Balu.
Okay. So this also could be a kind of very close election.
Very close election. Thamare Rajendran he was a former MLA, I think.
Jayan Kundan, again into the Chidambaram Parliamentary Constituency, but known for its cashew, and the Gangaikonda Cholapuram.
Yeah,
UNESCO heritage site is here. One of the fabulous temples you'll get to see in Tamil Nadu. Right, this will be better than the Tanjavur Periya Kovil, right, or the big temple, on the model of which it has been built. Right. It's an exact replica, but when you go there, it transforms you into a different world. Right. It has brilliant architecture, right, fabulous thing, Gangaikonda Cholapuram.
See, everywhere in the north, as you previously also described, there's a strong one-year demographic that could hold the key here.
Yes.
One of the things that the ADMK is banking on is that it introduced this bill for 10.5% reservation for the...
Which was quashed by the Supreme Court. Right, so that is there, of course, because the PMK, which is, which represents the one-year interest, has been pushing for a caste census, right? Statewide caste census and caste survey to grant separate reservation on the basis of caste. But the state government stand is that census is a subject matter of the central government's domain, so we don't do that. Once they give the numbers, we'll do it, because there are cases of other states where they did a caste survey and then introduced reservation that got quashed legally. And therefore, Stalin has been insisting that he will not get into any such misadventure. But right now, the PMK, the bigger problem for them is the split between the father and the son. Right. So the votes might see some cracks. I'm not saying it will be wide, but it will see some cracks.
Even Jayankondam, if you see former Vanir Sagam president, Kaduvetti Guru, he used to contest from here. I think Gurunathan, his name. He won once, I think, and contested several times.
So again, we are there fielding a PMK.
Kasuka Kannan is a very young chap in his 40s. Again, he's an incumbent MLA. So he's contesting again. Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the PMK.
Right. But if you look at here, even though the victory was narrow in 2021,
it's exceeded here.
Yeah, it's exceeded. And if you add up these two, the ADMK and the NDMK vote shares, it's a huge jump, almost 54. They get 54% of the vote. So this could be another tight contest here.
So we're coming to Sirgali, right? When you hear the name Sirgali, one person that comes to mind is Sirgali Govindarajan, one of the great
singers. Yeah, my father's favorite singer.
Yes. So, but it's basically a reserved seat in the lower Delta region.
Right.
Right, there is some potential for temple tourism here because
We have Toniyapur temple, yeah,
Brahmapurishwara temple here.
Right.
Sirgadi, you know, Saivat minstrel Trinjana Sambandar, who was born in this area. And then you have there is a Sirgadi movers, like how we call Tiruvarur movers, or Sirgadi movers are Tamil movers, basically. So there is a statue there, there is a Mani Mandapam there. And, you know, Sirgadi, Mayiladuri and Pumbugar, since I'm from that district, so I know. I am keenly watching this, and this time DMK has given to MDMK. Initially, MDMK said this will be the one out of 4. As per the agreement, out of 4, 3 they will be contesting on DMK symbol, 1 on MDMK's own symbol. But later they changed the stand. This will also be on DMK symbol. So Senthil Selvan is contesting. M. Pannirselvam of DMK. He had won several times since 1989, and this constituency is one which switches between the DMK, ADMK. M. Shakti is also represented. C.S. Gopinath is the district secretary of TVK, and we have NTK Subhash.
So what happens is, you know, when the candidates of other parties, when they contest on the symbol of a major party, they become MLAs of that party.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you may say that okay, MTMK has won 3 seats or 4 seats, but actually in the assembly records, it will only reflect as TMK. They're bound by the whip.
Yeah.
Right. In this assembly also, you had the similar problem. You know, especially MDMK, they had contested on the Rising Sun symbol, and similarly, candidates of the Manidhiraya Makkal Kachi and a few others also did the same.
Right.
But whenever the government conducted all party meetings, they were decent enough to invite them as representatives of their parties.
Their party, yeah.
And here, if you look at the electoral results in 2021, there's a comfortable, decent margin for the DMK candidate in 2021. Here in 2024 also, that margin is more or less retained.
NTK has doubled.
Yeah.
Usually there will be a tough contest because it's a coastal area also.
Right.
So there is a tough contest.
So the proper Mayiladuthurai constituency, right? So basically,
Where Sai is from.
Where Sai is from, exactly. Right. What is Mayiladuthurai famous for?
Mayiladuthurai is famous for temples. It's a cultural area, basically full of agrarian base. There is a Tulakattam where in every year you find a temple deities coming there and take a dip and all.
And what is the best to eat in Mayiladuthurai?
Mayiladuthurai is not any associated with the particular food. You have a lot of general varieties. It's not like anything specific to Mayiladuthurai.
Even the coffee is not.
Kumbakonam coffee is for Kumbakonam. That's right. Mayiladuthurai, you will also get a good coffee. And again, Mayiladuthurai is very recently formed district.
Yes.
And you have a new district collectorate and all. And the problem is the congestion is a big issue. And Mayiladuthurai does not have any, in the past, it was not, any minister was not there from this part of area. So always there is a, and one more criticism that always outsiders are fielded in Mayiladuthurai. Those who are non-native to Mayiladuthurai. Basically, in this assembly segment, if parliamentary constituency, you take R. Sudha.
Yes.
She's not from the region. Yes. She's from Gumudi.
Once upon a time, Mayiladuthurai parliamentary constituency was famous for Manishankara.
I remember once, and I'll give you an anecdote. So this was 2009, I suppose, and I met him somewhere, and he had lost the election. So I had asked him, why did you lose the election? He said, I did not do enough work. So the person was very candid, and he also represents a certain, generation of who are very frank. So
there is a good chunk of Muslim population here. Yeah, you can see 2 candidates fielded by
Arun Rashid and Jamal
Sithamali Palanisamy again. Last time also he contested. He was from PMK. He lost by, in Mayiladuthurai you can see the margin will be around 3,000, 4,000. And DMK in the recent times they have not fielded their candidates. Always it is given to Congress.
Yeah, you're right. If you look at the vote share differences,
3,000,
very, very narrow. And that narrowness was also almost reflected in the Lok Sabha Assembly segment as well. So this could be again a close contest.
Close contest. Definitely Mayiladuthurai is a close
contest.
Pumbuhar, very famous for a Chola Hera heritage site, right? There was a movie called Pumbuhar many years ago, black and white era, right? So, but they do have a lot of fishing area here. So they've been demanding subsidies for deep sea fishing, then support for handloom weaving through cluster markets and all those things.
It's again a coastal area, Pumbuhar, and Chola era here means not the medieval Cholas. It is associated with the early Cholas. You have a Karigala, and it is closely associated with Silappatikaram because Kannagi and Kovalan The story of Silapatikaram starts from Pumpuka.
Pumbuhar.
Yeah.
And the electoral contests are very narrow.
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
2021 elections.
basically DMK's district secretary had Mr. Niveda M. Murugan, who is contesting again, and ADMK's district secretary S. Poundraj. So at the margin was nearly 1,000 or 2,000. Again, the same contest was there in 2021 as well. Poundraj, he had won twice on behalf of the ADMK.
And the assembly segment during the Lok Sabha election also was relatively close.
Yeah.
That's why the TVK factor will impinge upon this pretty much.
Yeah, because you have Vijay has a good support among the fishermen.
Fishermen.
Tiruvai Marudur.
Yeah, Tiruvai Marudur. So agriculture area, and being a reserved constituency, you also have this significant Dalit population there, a labor population, but then they always have this perennial problem about tail and canal water distribution.
Yeah, completely an agrarian area, and between Mailadurai and Kumbakonam is Tiruvai Marudur. Since it's a reserved constituency and currently now represented by the Higher Education Minister Govi Chediyan. He had won thrice from there. Earlier it was former Mailadurai MP Ramalingam, who's a veteran in that area. He represented Tiruvai Marudur when it was a general constituency. You have Vilamati Subramaniam and S. Prabhakaran of TVK and Divya Bharati. This constituency in the past had witnessed tough contests.
And this also, exactly, that's reflected in the numbers. It was almost a 5 percentage point lead for the DMK in 21. And the DMK more or less retained its vote share in the assembly segment in the 24 Lok Sabha elections. But so was the case if you add up the ADMK and NDA vote shares. So again, another close contest can be expected here.
Kumbakonam, once upon a time, Kosi Mani was a powerful regional strongman for the DMK here. Right, so basically very famous, and of course, like you mentioned, Kumbakonam degree coffee is famous. Right. You see it across the highways, but you don't get the original degree coffee. Right. And I'm not sure now if you get even the original degree coffee in Kumbakonam.
In some places, yeah. If you go to this Kamachi Josiah Street and all, Madathathiru they call, there you get.
Yeah, and for me, the name Kumbakonam, every time I associate with Ashok Alva.
Yes,
even Tiruvayar is more famous for Ashok Alva. Yes. Kumbakonam, you can see a lot of writers, T. Janakiraman and all. They are from this is culturally a very vibrant place and.
Temple.
It also has temples, very vibrant.
That is why in the Konathila Thirumanal Kumbam theriyum andha mari people used to say Kumbakonam.
Whatever direction you go, you can see the
tower.
Yeah. And it's clearly a temple town. The life is organized around the temple.
Yeah, temple.
Actually, this region, if you travel, you will find yourself very peaceful because suddenly you will go through the single roads, and then both sides you'll have green cultivation, greenery everywhere, which you don't get to see on the highways when you go from Chennai towards Bangalore or other regions.
And the pace of life is very slow moving, very slow moving.
You also have quite a few landlords. Landlords, the Mitta Mirastars, they're all there. But then the economy, you will see a lot of bullock carts. Right, so it's always a very pleasant experience to travel through this region.
Part of Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, I only hope that those roads never develop actually. They should remain the single roads actually.
Yeah, very verdant part of Tamil Nadu, and you can see greenery throughout. And if you travel through the delta, it's almost a very peaceful. The drive is very pleasant. That's what.
Interestingly, Kumbakonam, you have a significant population of Brahmins also, but consecutively it elected DMK MLAs. So you have Kosi Mani represented and the incumbent MLA Sakoteke and Badagan. He had won thrice consecutively and again he has been fielded.
You had that MLA from ADMK here once.
Ramanathan.
This is a very fascinating story, right? So he got elected from Kumbakonam, right, in 1991 if I'm right. And then at that time he was a bachelor, okay? So he promised that in 1996, the ADMK was defeated. So he said, I'll marry only when I see Jayalalitha in the assembly, right, as a chief minister again. But it so happened that this never happened. Like whenever Jayalalitha was chief minister, he never won. Right. So, ultimately, he couldn't fulfill his oath.
He's still a bachelor?
I think so.
But quite a well-known
one good thing about him is, even when he was when he was not an MLA, if you go to the assembly, you will see two people, whenever Jayalalitha was in power, two people would be seated in the visitors gallery. One of them was this MLA, right, former MLA. and the other person was Mr. Maitreyan, the former Rajya Sabha MP, who's now joined the DMK, right? So he would be there. They will be keenly watching the assembly proceedings.
Interesting. The contest was not particularly close in the 2021 elections, and even more so pronounced in the 2024 elections. The DMK had a significant advantage here. Probably they could retain it here.
Yeah, likely, but contest will be there. But again, because MKR Ashok Kumar, even though he's a BJP candidate, he's from Tamil Manila Congress, basically.
Okay. Oh, he's from Tamil Manila Congress.
Yeah, because
which is contesting
Tamil
in
Manila
the-
Congress is contesting on
in
behalf
the-
of
and let's talk a bit about Tamil Manila Congress. The Moopanar was a
Yes.
Upnar was one of Tamil Nadu's most powerful Congress leaders at one point of time. He was the troubleshooter for the Congress at the national level.
also comes from
So-
a large zamindar.
Large Jamindar family, so he was never, he never held any positions of, office kind of a thing, largely. So, he was one of the troubleshooters for the Congress. Any state there's any problem, he'll go and settle it. So, basically a follower of Kamraj also.
Yeah.
1996, when the Congress decided to tie up with Jayalalitha, he just couldn't take it because Jayalalitha, in the previous 5 years, had virtually slammed the Congress leadership. The MLAs would protest in the assembly. So there was a huge wave of anger against Jayalalitha, and the Congress people could not really take in the fact that the AICC leadership agreed for a tie-up.
They rebelled and formed.
So then the Congress was split under Moopanar's leadership, and they formed the Tamil Manila Congress overnight, and they aligned with the DMK. That election
with
they won
Rajinikanth support.
with Rajinikanth support,
Yes.
and then that election they won all the 40 seats, 40 out of 40 assembly seats, 20 out of 20 parliamentary constituency seats. 5 years later, Moopanar joined Jayalalitha's alliance, right? And then eventually, after his death, his son Vasan, at that point it was Govinda Vasan, right? Govinda Vasan, who later became GK Vasan, merged the TMC with the Congress. He became the state Congress president. At one point, GK Vasan became union minister in the Congress, and then some years later, he found himself sidelined. So he split the party, revived the Tamil Manila Congress. 2014, he revived the Tamil Manila Congress, Moopanar. And the biggest surprise is now, Moopanar's famous symbol was cycle. But now, he is ideologically, Moopanar was not aligned with the BJP. In fact, 1998, when Vajpayee government was being pulled down by Jayalalitha, the DMK went and supported BJP, and that was the point of discord between TMC and DMK, and Moopanar walked out to form his own alliance, right? So he was ideologically opposed to the BJP, but Mr. Vasan says that time is over. I have travelled far from Mr. Moopanar's days, and now he is
very far away from Moopanar.
very far away from Moopanar, and then now he is part of the NDA. But he is a decent politician, I must say, very decent politician. In the alliance, he is the least troublesome. Right.
TMC has not won any seat.
They have not won
in the
seats.
second avatar. They have not.
Yes, they have not won any seat. So Mr. Vasan basically, he tried to build the alliance, rebuild the alliance. He played the peacemaker at some level, although he would not accept credit for that. He did try that, but this time, he got 5 seats, and all the 5 candidates are contesting on the BJP's Lotus symbol.
I remember you had interviewed him and you had questioned him about why they are contesting. On
Again, he was unable to get his cycle symbol, and he said that I don't want to go for auto, cricket, bat, or ball. Again, it will be very difficult to keep that symbol and take it to the people. So he decided to contest on BJP.
But in a sense, I would say that he has been shortchanged in some sense, because the kind of constituencies allocated to him, 3 of them are areas where the ministers are contesting.
Yes, that's reflected in the. Is it also a consequence of the ADMK's frustration that they are contesting in the BJP symbol?
Possible, because I think in terms of numbers, when they got only 5, it may not be proportionate to what they demanded. So therefore, that was also what
Vasan is of the view that he is arguing that since in 2024, when the BJP and AIDMK contested separately, so Vasan was in the BJP-led alliance. So his argument is that even now, I am in direct alliance with the BJP, so I prefer to go with the BJP symbol than with the AIDMK. In 2021, they contested on the AIDMK symbol.
Right. Papanasam, again, a very scenic place, if I am right, because you have this, Kolliroon river there.
Kollidam.
Right, Kollidam, what they call as Kollidam in Tamil and Kolliroon in English. And, it's a home to a very significant weaving community in the Ayyampettai area. At Ayampeta, that name brings very
Tillumullu
familiar.
movie,
Tillumullu.
Rajinikanth says Ayampetta yariyude nambi kaliya verum
Yes.
Valchandran.
So this is where that Ayampeta comes from. All right. So we'll just see the candidates.
So last time Papanasam was won by Manidanai Makkal Katchi President M.H. Jawahirullah. So again, this time it has been given to IUML, Indian Union Muslim League. There is a significant Muslim population there. And if you see, one of the 6 abodes of Lord Muruga, Swami Malai, falls under this assembly segment. And if you notice, D. Shanmuga Prabhu, he is the son of former agriculture minister Duraikan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who died in during the COVID time. And Duraikan had represented this assembly segment several times.
But there are 3 Muslim candidates.
Yeah, 3 a significant population of Muslims. And then even
They'll be ending
Vasan's,
up dividing the Muslim votes.
it is likely.
Yeah.
And Vasan's hometown falls under this area. Sundara Perumal Koil and all falls under. Kabisthalam is in this area.
So in the 2021 elections, the victory was quite comfortable and even more pronounced in the 2024 Lok Sabha. Was that because the TMC candidate was fielded here in the Lok Sabha?
Not in the Lok Sabha. TMC was not fielded in the Lok Sabha. Again, it is a Congress candidate only, R. Sudha, because it falls under Mayiladuthurai assembly segment.
All right, Nagapattinam. It is a area where you have fishing harbors, right? Coastal town. One of the frequent issues is about fishermen getting arrested by the Sri Lankan Navy. That has been a continuing issue. There's been no solution. They do have refineries and other things here. But being a fisherman belt, this time I expect traction, some level of traction for the TVK also. Right, so that is there. And also Nagapattinam has some pilgrimage places.
Nagapattinam has, yes, it's a very culturally harmonious place. You have Nagur Dargah there, which falls under this constituency, and Velangani Church. I think it is under Keelvelur constituency, but it is very close to Nagapattinam town. And you have a lot of Hindu Sikal temple, and in Vedaranam also you have a temple.
Potential for huge tourism. It's supposed to be a very syncretic place.
Also the religious nature, it actually blends.
Very syncretic.
Yeah.
You will find that people go to Velangani and tonsuring their heads.
Yeah, even
Right.
Hindus, a lot of
Yeah,
Hindus.
you will find other places.
Hindus also going to Nagur.
Nagur,
Hindus going to Nagur. So that way it's
It's
more
also a
harmonious.
medicinal place, if I'm not wrong.
There was a Buddhist vihar, if you had to notice the Ponniyin Selvan, the Arulmozhi Verma was treated in one of the Buddhist vihara there. And you can, since the tourism was mentioned, now there is a, connectivity from Nagapattinam to Sri Lanka through ferry.
That's right, yes. Gangesanturai.
Yeah, Congress.
Last time the election was pretty close, so just a 5%.
Because VCK's Alur Shanavas was contesting from there, and Tanga Kadiravan AIDMK last time also he contested. Sukumar of TVK and Fatima Farhana of NT. Fatima Farhana is again NTK's former NTK's strong man in that area, his daughter. Now Jawaharlal has moved to
Manidanai
He's moved here. Keelvelur.
Keelvelur reserved constituency, lot of agricultural labours.
Again a communist stronghold.
Where Kirunmani falls, right?
Yeah, Keelvelur falls, and then Tirukkuvalai, the place where
Karunanidhi
was born, falls under this. Again, it is given to CPM. It's D. Lata, a new face, and Vadivel Ravanan is a PMK's frontline leader. Last time also he contested.
So the PMK would usually have a Dalit face within the party also. So earlier it was Dalit Elman, right? This time it's Vadivel Ravanan, right? Who briefly was with the father and then he switched sides here.
Yeah.
This is one of the places where the left won comfortably. Last time.
Yes. And then you have heard of U. Madhivanan, who was a dairy minister in DMK. He used to contest from here.
Vedaranyam, very coastal region, right? Quite a coastal region.
Point Calimere.
Point Calimere, and also Vedaranyam is where you will find during the height of the Sri Lankan ethnic war. A frequent area from where you will find
proximity
boats,
to Sri Lanka.
Proximity to Sri Lanka, so people stealthily going via boats, smuggling goods. So those kind of things.
And you have Vedaranam, historically Vedaranam salt satyagraha is very famous.
Salt satyagraha is famous,
Rajaji
yes. And you have this Point Calimere, that is also very important.
Yeah, it's a very important ecosystem. And you have former minister O.S. Manian, who is contesting from here for the third time, I think.
He's quite a very popular figure in the AIDMK, very amiable person, very friendly person to move with.
Here the NTK did particularly well in the Lok Sabha.
NTK stronghold, even this time it is likely that NTK is...
He is again one of the prominent candidates of spokesperson. Idumbavan Karthik is quite prominent in the NTK.
And DMK, you have M.M. Pugadendi, who is the son of, when there was upper house, Meenakshi Sundaram was formerly he was a teacher community leader basically. So
doing the legislative council
was there. He was MLC, and his son is Pugadendi who is contesting.
Also, last time the ADMK had won very comfortably. by
Yeah,
a
OS
margin of-
Manian.
OS Manian is a very popular.
Yeah, but they couldn't manage the same margin because the votes were split between
Because if you see
Right.
there, PV Rajendran, who was a former MP, and
Right.
he is also a stronghold there, and SK Vedarathanam of DMK, who briefly switched to BJP and again came back.
Right.
They all of them have influence there.
So will this election be closer than what happened last year?
Likely
last time,
to be.
likely to
Likely
be
to
more closer. Okay.
Tiruturai Pundi, again a reserved constituency within the Nagapattinam parliamentary region. So basically, it's an agrarian, powerful history of
Muthupet Lagoon
agrarian
is
labor
there.
movement. A strong left-wing base. Then, of course, there are also the low-lying tail and delta areas.
Yeah, you have a lagoon in Muthupet where dugong conservations and all is going on. Tiruthurai and the neighboring Thiruvarur. Tiruthurai is basically even the Nagapattinam parliamentary constituency, it falls under Thiruvarur district. Tiruthurai and Thiruvarur, the ADMK had never won. In two leaves, the allies might have won. Two leaves they have never won. So it's a strong communist area. Even now, a communist party is contesting, I think.
I've been to this place. It has very beautiful mangrove.
Yeah, mangrove forest. Yeah. CPI is Marimuthu, who is an incumbent MLA. I think he is the one among, apart from Dali Ramachandran, he is again contesting.
It was a comfortable victory last time, 16 percentage point win for the left candidate.
Yeah.
And even in the Lok Sabha elections, they had taken a comfortable win. I think the contestant was from the left in the Lok Sabha election also.
In Nagapattinam.
Yes.
Yeah. Nagapattinam is represented. Earlier it was another Selvaraj who used to. It is basically Selvaraj versus AKS Vijayan. Whether DMK and CPI alliance, it will be together.
Thiruvarur, right? Thiruvarur is Karnataka's
where he grew up.
Hometown, right? So completely agrarian, right? But
Thiruvarur temple is very famous.
very, very famous for the temple. And then the key issues, of course, there will be about this paddy. And also for storage is a big issue, because we had a lot of issues with the crop, after post-harvest paddy procurement. There was there was some complaint about corruption in the paddy procurement.
Yeah.
There were complaints about storage. So there were cases of paddy actually grains sprouting there. So these will be key demands. So this time I think some segment of agriculture, the farmers are also not very happy with the way these issues were handled by the DMK government.
Wasn't this the area when the cyclone hit?
Yeah, it was Gaja cyclone.
Gaja cyclone was, the side Vedaranyam was the main area. That was the center.
Yeah. And Thiruvarur, former Chief Minister Karunanidhi represented twice.
In fact, this was the last constituency represented by Karunanidhi. So Karunanidhi's argument of this earlier, it was a reserved constituency where he could not, therefore he couldn't really contest in his hometown. And therefore he actually hopped constituencies in Chennai largely after Tanjavur earlier.
Kulithalai, Tanjavur.
And then it's been largely city.
Chennai.
And then from Chepak, Tiruvallikani, he actually moved.
Chepak it was.
Chepak. So then he moved to Thiruvarur. So this is where he was last elected. At that point, that was the highest margin of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a DMK stronghold?
Yeah, it is definitely a DMK. Pundi Kalaivanan is a very known district secretary.
Look at the candidate. The BJP is contesting here.
Yeah.
I think in the local bodies in Thiruvarur or in Karunanidhi's hometown, the BJP did well or something.
Yeah, did well. Yeah,
So
I remember.
I think that might have influenced them to, fit in.
Yeah.
Nannilam, right? Again, a very major rice producing belt, right? But then key issue for the farmers there is the release of Cauvery water timely. So if you have a good monsoon, then it doesn't become a problem. But then every time there's a drought or an issue in Karnataka, then this becomes a key issue. Yeah, but then also
it is one among the 4 seats which ADMK had won.
ADMK had won. Yes.
It was a former minister. Kamaraj. Again, he's contesting from here. And this time in DMK, it has been given to SDP. SDP State President Nellai Mubarak, VMS Mohammed Mubarak. He is contesting. There's a significant Muslim population.
So what the DMK has done this time is they have not left any Muslim party. Right. STPI was in the last parliamentary election with
AIDMK contested Dindigul.
Right. And STPI is normally not considered to be the mainstream Muslim party. But then now this time they have the IUML with whom traditionally they have had ties. In fact, the DMK has this, custom of signing its first agreement
with IUML.
in a seat sharing agreement in every election with the IUML first. So they did that this time also. Then they have Manidare Makkal Kachi. They have the splinter group of Manidare Makkal
Manidare
Kachi.
Janadayaka Katchi.
Manidare Janaya Kachi. And then they have the SDPI. So they're not, I think they've realized that this election could be tough. So you consolidate the minorities, right? And then somehow bring them all together. And then, of course, these parties can't look at the AIDMK because of its alliance with the BJP, right? And nobody really went with the TVK. NTK has been always independent.
Right, so this 29% that the ADMK one includes some of the SDPA support.
Yes, it will have some of the SDPI, but smaller percentage, not much.
The last time it was a narrow victory for the ADMK.
Yes.
Yeah, and this time, and if you add up the ADMK, but again, we cannot take this picture because of the split, the SDPI moving out to the DMK. So we can disregard the Lok Sabha election results. But considering the last election, it looks like a close contest.
Close contest.
Yeah, but at the same time, let me also tell you, Nannilam and all, there's a problem here because the other challenge that he might face this time is Sashikala fielding her candidates. So she is fielding a candidate. She specifically named him during the campaign, saying that, these are betrayers.
Before we speak specifically on that, can you tell more about Sasikala's party?
Yeah, Sashikala, basically, as you all know that, she was the former aide of Jayalalitha at one time, number 2 in the AIDMK, de facto number 2. So if you need to meet Jayalalitha, it has to be through her. So that was the thing. Post Jayalalitha's death also, she remained number 1 in the party. She was the interim general secretary. And it was under her watch that Edappadi Palaniswamy was appointed chief minister. Of course, there were a lot of behind the scene maneuvers and all those things. But then if Sashikala was not there, that may not have been that smooth.
That was basically to adjust for the fact that ADMK is largely represented by the Mukkularthus and the Counters.
It's also that, Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy had the resources to, consolidate on this issue. So he managed that while Sengotain was not able to do that, right? So that was Sengotain was the first choice. So he had his resources to do this.
Sasikala belongs to the Mukkulattur community. So therefore, Mr. Edappadi was...
Edappadi was from the Counter. So and also at that point, the ADMK, if you notice, the composition of the MLAs was such that the majority lay with the, Counters. Right, and then it was the Dalits. So that was the composition. Larger composition was there, and therefore that also helped in his favor, in addition to the resource factor. Right, but after Sashikala went to jail in a corruption case, Edappadi Palaniswamy managed to outwit her, and then she has become a persona non grata in the AIDMK. So technically speaking, Sashikala is not what she was during Jayalalitha's time. She cannot expect to be in that role also. So eventually when she came out of prison, people said that look, the kind of crowd that came, it took 24 hours for her to reach from Krishnagiri border to, Chennai. So she's a big leader. I was always, very dismissive about it because people also see Sashikala as an extra constitutional authority. But then this time what has happened is she has decided to assert herself after stepping aside from politics initially. She's come back. She has actually borrowed a political party which somebody else had registered. And then tied up with Ramdas, the PMK founder, to field candidates in certain constituencies. So her goal is very clear, both for her and Ramdas. Wherever the PMK or the ADMK is contesting, where we can inflict damage, we'll use that. So one such area is Nannilam. So in her region, she's trying to inflict that damage, right? But Sashikala, or as of now, cannot contest in any election. She stands disqualified on account of a conviction. In future elections, she will be eligible to contest because the disqualification period will be over.
6 years.
6 years plus the prison term of 4 years. Mannargudi.
Mannargudi is the place from where Sashikala.
We are talking about Sashikala. This is the area.
The derogatory term Mannargudi Mafia comes from.
This is where they brought in this. So Mannargudi now is, Sashikala's hometown, TTV Dinakaran, her nephew. Right, so this is a very core area.
TR
Balu's core area. TRB Raja is contesting from
he won. Interestingly, even in the 2011 wave in favor of AIDMK and DMDK alliance, TRB Raja won 3 times. He consecutively won, and no doubt that the AIDMK has a considerable influence there. You have S. Kamaraj, who is a formerly with the AIDMK, now with the AMMK. He wields also a considerable influence, and you have a Mannargudi Rajagopalaswamy temple. The temple tank is huge. It is one of the largest temple tanks in India. And you have TVK's Rajarajan and Bharati Selvam of NTK.
Raja is also the Industries Minister.
Industries Minister.
Yeah. Fairly, I would say that articulate and also, who knows the subject very well.
He is also the minister who can claim credit for the economic growth
Yes,
story.
on the base that was laid by Tangam Tennarasu earlier as
Yeah.
Industries Minister. Yes, he can claim so. But the other role he also plays is the DMK IT Secretary, where off late there have been complaints by certain people saying that they were selectively targeted.
Attacked, yeah.
So, which means, I mean, he may not have overseen it, but then the complaint is that he did not restrain people from doing it. But then that's how, unfortunately, the IT wings of different political parties are.
Yeah.
They hit out through ghost accounts, they hit you below the belt. Not just the DMK, it applies for every political party, for that matter, even TVK. You know, the
Yeah.
kind of, you know, what do you say?
Character
The kind of
assassination,
they
trolling.
do. It leaves you, you know, emotionally disconnected at some
Yeah.
point of time.
And I think this election is also one election where social media is a factor.
Yes.
Right? We ourselves are recording
instrumental role.
a video for YouTube, so that is also technically now a big medium now where political views are conveyed and you know, political contestation is happening.
But
So
here he has the edge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's very clearly reflected in the numbers. If you look at the 2021 elections, it was a 20% margin, nearly 20% margin, 20 percentage point margin rather.
Yeah.
And in the Lok Sabha election also, that healthy lead was almost maintained.
But the other point is, I find that most of these candidates, you know, the key candidates, they also locked in their own constituencies.
Yeah, because
You
there
don't
is
get to see them outside of their areas.
Yeah.
So that's how intense this contest
Yeah.
is.
That's the third, the unknown factor is actually complicated
Yes.
things so much that
contested force because we don't know whether like what kind of damage they will.
Whereas here, you know, like 5.4 to 11.6 of their growth. So you know the NTK strength, and therefore accordingly you can plan. Here, you don't know the kind of disruption they'll create. Yeah. Right. Tiruvayar, right, a very famous
For
for
Tyagaraja.
annual Tyagaraja Aradhana. Right, Aradhana, that's very quite popular. Then, of course, right on the banks of Cauvery and
Kulidam, and it's a primarily agricultural area. Sir, Thiruvayaru, one famous actor contested in 1989.
Yes, Shivaji Ganesan, you know, who's, I would say, by far one of the best, finest actors we have had. You know, he can play any role. So basically, he is from this region,
Yeah.
basically. So he was in the Congress, right? He was once a Rajya Sabha member. He was in the Janata Dal, right? But after MGR's death, he floated his own political party, which also has had many other actors, right? And then he and V.N. Janaki's ADMK faction, they tied up, and he contested in Thiruvayar and he lost.
1989.
1989.
His part name is Tamizhar Munnetra Munnani.
Tamulaga Munnetra Munnani or
Munnetra
something like that,
Munnani,
right?
yeah,
So and then he dissolved his party. But, you know, that again explains that, you know, your popularity, your familiarity with the people does not guarantee electoral success. And this electoral defeat does not reflect that his popularity has come down. Because I can confidently tell you that Shivaji Ganesan's funeral, which was held, was one of the largest attended funerals in Chennai in many, many decades. Yeah, for 2 days, crowd kept coming. They were not even able to reach his body, right? But then they would pass on information through journalists saying that please tell them that we came from this district. And then on the 8th or 13th day ceremony, a lot of people not related to Shivaji Ganesan, they actually tonsured their heads as if somebody from their own family died.
Oh, right.
That was a kind of connect.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was his
versatile
legacy is
actor.
still there. Right, he of course died a very happy man, I must say, because you know, so his you know, pride would come from the joint family that he led.
Yeah.
Right, he had a huge bungalow where there would be joint family and all those things. So you know, that way he was quite popular. He remains popular. You know, you cannot discuss Tamil cinema or Indian cinema without the Dada
He played a
Saheb
lot of you know, historic roles. There is one Tamil song lyrics. It says, கடவுள் யாருன்னு யார் பார்த்தா அதை கண்ணில் காட்டுனது சினிமா தான். கர்ணன் கட்டபொம்மை யார் பார்த்தா அதை கண்ணில் காட்டுனது. Because Karnan, Kattabomman, all these roles he played.
Exactly. You don't know how Kattabomman looked like, but then it was Shivaji who lived that role. He lived the role of Appar. He lived the role of Tirunagar.
Right? Also, he embodied the different progressive currents of Tamil cinema.
Yes.
If you say the actor who played the lead role in Parasakti, that was Shivaji Ganesan.
Yes.
A leftist movie like Irumbuthirai, a communist role, that was Shivaji Ganesan. The nationalist role, Veerapandiya Kattabomman, that was again, you know, Shivaji Ganesan. So the various political movements of Tamil Nadu used him as a vehicle in cinema.
Exactly.
Definitely.
As a police officer, I don't think any other role, you know, SP Chowdhury, right? That role, I don't think anybody else. I mean, people may call it overacting, but then I think that for that age, that was how acting
Tang-
was
Is it
affected.
Tangapadakam, sir?
Tangapadakam.
The very fact that we have digressed into discussing Shivaji
Yeah,
Ganesan
Shivaji, yes.
tells us the significance of
Yeah,
this
yes,
great thespian of Tamil cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
More about Thiruvayaru.
Thiruvayaru, again, Mr. Durai Chandrasekharan is contesting. 1989, he was the one who defeated Shivaji, if I remember. And Durai Chandrasekharan has been consistently winning, even though AIDMK had won once or twice. And he's a very popular known face. And AMMK has fielded P. Karthigeyan, M. Manikandan of TVK, and Sendil Nathan of NTK is contesting.
All right, we come to Tanjavur, perfect agrarian belt. The big temple is there, Dharasram temple is there, right? It's the granary of the south, right? So they're also, seeking GI tag Tanjavur art plates and all. So you have the Tanjavur Talayati Bommai,
Yeah.
right, which is very famous.
UNESCO World Heritage Site, no, big temple.
Yes, big
Rajaraja
temple,
Cholas.
yeah, Rajaraja Cholas. So it's amazing. Even the terrain, the landscape, everything here is, different.
Yeah. And then politically, as you had already mentioned, DMK's patriarch M. Karnataka
Yes.
had contested
Right.
and won. And you have AIDMK's popular leaders also. You take SD Somasundaram
Yes.
had represented Tanjavur. And
Tanjavur.
if you remember, former commercial tax minister, I think SNM Ubaidullah used to contest.
Ubaidullah.
Yeah, used to contest from here. And again and again, if you see in the recent elections, the BJP is very keen on gaining some traction here. M. Muruganathan, locally referred as Karuppu Muruganathan,
Karuppu
he had contested even last time in the parliament elections. He is contesting again. San Ramanathan is the Tanjavur mayor, so he is very close to Karunanidhi's family, and he is contesting again.
And Michael Patti falls under Tanjavur?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, Michael Patti, yes.
So again, that was reflected in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The BJP marginally, managed a better vote share than the ADMK. Perhaps that's the reason why they have
I
fielded
mean,
a BJP
ADMK's
candidate.
M. Rangasamy,
Right.
he had won twice, but he recently joined the DMK.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Okay. But this is a comfortable victory for the DMK
Yeah,
in the
yes.
2021 elections, and also in the assembly segment there was a huge lead.
Yeah.
So this could be one of the strongholds of the.
Strongholds of
Right.
There's a famous music, film song also, Tanjavur
Maneduthu
Maneduthu.
Thamarabharangi Thanithu. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
also there. Right, Varathanadu, right, rural constituency clearly. So, the key issue, like I mentioned, in this region will be the marketing, procurement, price for paddy, right, and of course the issues like dairy farming, they need support. So we'll look
So
at
is
the
it
candidates.
AIDMK's stronghold in the past, sir? Because
In the
AIDMK
past, yes, because of Vaidilingam, right, who was in the ADMK, who won here, the
As a
sitting
AD.
MLA, he was a sitting MLA.
OPS camp.
OPS camp, and then now moved to the DMK and he has been fielded there. But then whether he can transfer the two leaves votes into DMK is a key question, because not everybody is successful in the first attempt. Of course, this region is different, but then the point is, those who are accustomed to voting for two leaves, they don't easily vote for the rising sun.
Yeah.
I saw that in Erode, where you had Muthusamy. He had to struggle, to really convert that. Senthil Balaji was the only one who managed that, but then he was a serial party hopper.
Yeah.
So,
Just to reiterate to our viewers, for the ADMK, the two-leaf symbol is not just a symbol. The two-leaf symbol has its own autonomous weight.
Yeah.
so anybody who has the two-leaf symbol has an advantage over the other faction.
Yeah,
So that is how Paneerselvam, former CM, lost to Edappadi Palaniswamy, who managed to retain the two leaves.
I have also seen opinion polls which show that popularity of Edappadi Palaniswamy is below that of the two-leaf symbol.
Two leaves.
So even though
Because these are symbols, rising sun and two leaves, and the hand symbol, they've existed for several decades.
Yeah, but the other point is that the popularity for the DMK symbol and the popularity of the CM are more or less the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the even.
But two-leaf symbol is one that has been popularized by MGR, right, and then by Jayalalitha subsequently for 50 years. So that's there,
You have seen a lot of people,
they
having
have tattooed their,
the-
hands. You will see the symbol there.
It was the idea came from that Pandu, right? That actor. What is his name?
Pandu was the comedian. Pandu was the one who actually helped, draw and paint the two-leaf symbol, as well as the ADMK's party flag, where he would show Anna's hand raised, pointed towards it. That was because he was a film, he was an art student basically. So MGR brought him one night and asked him to do. Right, so he is the man behind the ADMK symbol.
But Vaithilingam also belongs to the Mukuladur community.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
Mukuladur community.
Yes.
So that's why he was one of the lieutenants of OPS
Yes.
for a long time, and he joined the DMK before OPS. OPS joined the thing. So in a way, this outcome that we saw in 2021 election was again Vaithilingam was then contesting in the ADMK ticket, and he had a comfortable lead. Now he has shifted to the DMK. Whether he would repeat the performance,
He enjoys a clout. He has a clout there.
that is there. But as DSK said, the symbol also
it is likely to be a tough contest.
Little bit tough contest because of that. Yeah, and in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, again the DMK had a very healthy lead. The NDA had overcome the ADMK, and that's probably because of the OPS factor.
But actually, if you notice this region, no, the NTK's performance in many constituencies is
During
quite
the
steep because of the agriculture, correct?
Yeah.
Because Seaman keeps talking about organic farming,
exactly.
farmer community. So, but it's quite significant in this constituency itself, in this region. We saw it either going double or triple.
So we just discussed that of the different sectors, the primary sector, agrarian sector has not enjoyed the same kind of growth that the other sectors have. So there could be some discontent because of that, and that is being tapped into by an ideologically motivated party like the NTK, which has kept agriculture and agrarian economy as a focus.
All right, we come to Pattukottai Kalyana Sundaram.
Yeah,
right.
he's
So
a very famous lyricist.
Yes, lyricist. So this also has a fishing
Adirampattanam,
harbour.
it's a fishing harbour.
Right.
And
they need cold storage facilities.
And Pattukottai, you have Manora, the Dugong Conservation Center is there. Pattukottai is represented by again the DMK. I think Annadurai of the DMK is the incumbent MLA, and now again he has been given the ticket. And again, Pattukottai is one such constituency. Both the DMK and ADMK had won in the past.
Peraurni, right. Again, this is an agriculture sector, but then here it's more of a coconut.
Yeah, even
grows.
in the Gaja cyclone, as we have mentioned, it was one of the places where there was a huge damage during Gaja cyclone. Peraurni Ashok Kumar is the incumbent MLA, and again he is contesting. Again, Peraurni, in 2011, one interesting fact I can say, in 2011, Vijayakant's close friend and co-actor, Mr. Arun Pandian, who represented Peraurni.
DMDK. He later joined the ADMK.
Let's move on. And the equation during the 21 assembly election was not particularly close. And but it narrowed during the Lok Sabha elections. The DMK vote share actually fell dramatically, almost 11 percentage points.
All right, we come to Thirumayam.
Pudukkottai district.
Right, Pudukkottai district. We have the Thirumayam fort there. Right. Again, these are areas where you have a lot of stone quarries, and then there are complaints about environmental regulation not being met. Right, and then it's basically DMK versus ADMK.
Yeah, because a sitting minister, S. Raghupati is the MLA. Raghupati has won several times. He was earlier with the ADMK, and he also enjoys a personal clout.
It was a very, very close contest in 2021.
Barely. Thing about when you mentioned about Mr. Raghupati being in the ADMK previously. If you look at the DMK now, it's all made up with, most of the strongmen are from the ADMK in the past. Like in this region itself, we saw Raghupati, we just saw Vaidilingam, right? Senthil Balaji earlier, Shekhar Babu, then, Velu was in the ADMK, then you had Muthuswamy, Anita Radhakrishnan, right? So the list is like endless. It just goes, and then all the people from the ADMK, they've been accommodated here.
Now you have former chief minister also.
Former chief minister, Paneerselvam has now come into this.
Do you think this might lead to some, murmur and discontent?
See, the long run it will be there, but then these are also people like even Palniyappan in Dharmapuri district who has joined them. So these are all areas, where the DMK did not have any great representation, and then these people had a upper hand. And it comes, but then the problem will be like where the DMK cadres have tried to give them tough competition, and now you see that person is in your party and he gets a ticket and not you. That causes some sort of a discomfort.
Here you have two women candidates also. C. Sindhamani, who's TVK, you can see very prominently active on social media, and Lakshmi Srinivasan. And in this constituency, basically, always there is a vote for a change. Always there is a third. You can see NTK has secured a 15%. Yeah, it's a very significant.
Is the Sindhamani the Sindhu?
Sindhu, yes.
Okay, she's the same Sindhamani.
Sindhu Ramasamy, same.
NTK's performance one of the best ever, best among all the seats in this constituency.
Right, Alangudi, right, within the Sivaganga parliamentary constituency.
Yeah, even Thirumayam also falls under
the Sivaganga. So again, local issues about the area being largely rain-fed. Right, farmers being dependent on bore wells and other issues. Typical agrarian economy issues here.
Yeah, and Alangudi is represented by the sitting minister.
One point I wanted to tell our viewers is that you see these points that are mentioned here. These are all collated by our own correspondents in this area.
On the field,
So I would request you to please read the Hindu more carefully. You'll find some very good expertise from our local correspondents. They understand the area far better. They are invested in trying to bring out the information in
Yeah.
a very nuanced and detailed manner, and that's what is reflected in this constituency profile that we have provided you. Please go on, this.
Yeah. We'll just look at the candidates.
Yeah, Minister Mayyanathan has represented from here. Again, he is contesting. The ADMK is Vimal, you have Durai Kandasamy and Rajaraman. Even Koopa Krishnan, when he was in AIDMK, used to contest from here. He won from here. Yeah, Alamudi.
Again, not particularly a close contest last time, and the advantage was more or less retained, 12 percentage points if you add up the ADMK India. This thing. Again, a very good performance by NTK.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you go closer to Sivaganga, that's where Karaikudi is where
Seaman's
is contesting.
hometown, Chidambaram's hometown.
So he's, I think, understood that this is the area where he's doing well. And probably.
Yeah.
Right.
The last and
Aramtangi,
final
right?
constituency.
The final constituency in the central region. Once upon a time, Mr. Su Tirunagarsar, when he was called S. Tirunagarsar, was the uncrowned king of Aramtangi.
Yeah.
Right, he has won. I mean, Tirunagarsar is a very fascinating politician. He started his career in the AIDMK. He became the deputy speaker, and he was very famous for saying this, in the assembly, that we are all zeros. All the AIDMK MLAs, we are all zero. MGR is one. So it is that one that adds value to the zero. Right, that was his famous thing, right?
Yeah.
So he was a minister in MGR's cabinet as well. After MGR died, he was the one who supported the Jayalalitha faction, right, along with KK Ramachandran, again another ADMK man, now in the DMK in the southern region, right. So these two were pillars of strength for Jayalalitha. And now, in the recent years, you would have come across, parties splitting, their MLAs being taken off to Assam, MLAs being taken off to star hotels. But back then, before the vote of confidence was moved by Janaki Ramachandran, the ADMK Jayalalitha faction MLAs were taken out of Tamil Nadu to some place by Tirunagarasu, right? So he is a master at that, this is the early stage, 1980s, right, 1987, 88, right? So he was the one who did that. And he's also one person, who's a frequent party hopper, and despite that has won elections.
Yeah, from 77 to 2000, he represented this
Aramtangi or different parties.
ADMK,
he had his own political party. Then he had a MGR ADMK, MGR Kalagam. No, MGR ADMK.
MGR Kalagam is from
RMB. So MGR ADMK.
So I used to study in Karaikudi. That's where my undergrad was. My classmates used to tell me about people in the region that he used to attend all weddings in that area. He was a very prominent,
locally well-connected man.
2-3 persons in the ADMK who were very popular for that. One of them was Tirunagarsar, other was KK Ramachandran in Satur. Then you had a person called Tamarai Kani, right? So, we will come to this thing when we go to south. Right, so Tamarai Kani. So these are people who...
That's the guy who used to wear that long ring of...
So they would regularly patronize local people and all those things. And then the fascinating thing about Tirunagarsar is, he had his MGR ADMK, he became an MP. Then he became a union minister, BJP, for BJP. And also, he was a BJP Rajya Sabha member from Madhya Pradesh. So that was a time earlier, if you want to be a Rajya Sabha MP, you have to be a resident of that area. So Manmohan Singh had a problem with Assam. But after that clause was amended, Tirunagarsar was one of the first persons who was from Tamil Nadu but became MP in Madhya Pradesh. And then from BJP, he joined Congress. And he became the Tamil Nadu Congress Committee President also. And MP as well from
2019, he won from Trichy.
Yes. And now who is there in this constituency? It's his
son. T. Ramachandran. His boss's name, I think. He named him MG Ramachandran, I think so.
Yes, possible.
T. Ramachandran, again, T. Ramachandran had won even in 2021 as well.
Very interestingly, in the Lok Sabha election, the BJP did particularly well. It got 26% of the vote in this.
That is because if you see, we
Who was a candidate in Ramanathapuram?
Ramanathapuram was O.
Paneerselvam. So, O. Paneerselvam, OPS was the BJP, I mean, he contested on the jackfruit symbol, but part of the BJP. So it's more or less of that they were the Mukkalatur concentration.
And that's now accruing to the DMK because he has moved on to the...
Again, like, shifting 2 leaves to some other party is easier than shifting it to the DMK. Because the whole race and rhetoric of the ADMK is anti-DMK, right? So that is, we'll have to see how it goes.
We have 2 women here. Kavita Srikanth is, I think, BJP's women's wing state president, and Mohammed Parvez of TVK, he is a councillor in Pudukkottai district.
Oh.
In one, and Muthulakshmi of the NTK.
So I think that brings us to the end of the
yeah.
central region. So thank you for joining us. We will come back to you with another episode where we will be dealing with another region of Tamil Nadu. We'll meet you soon.